I really need to get more exercise, man. My name is Werner Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. The reason I'm saying I need to get more exercise is I don't know how you feel, but I've been stuck in here. Okay, let me reverse and be honest. Like, I am doing the longboarding thing, but it's like once a week for real, and then a little bit of balance boarding, and then not much else. Maybe it's stroll to the cafe or the parcel locker. Not getting enough fresh air, I think, and I need to do something about it. I'm a little bit worried because even with my sleeping patterns, I'm starting to realize that I'm not tired enough to sleep well, and I try and go to bed early enough because I've started noticing that I'm really not taking care of my sleep, and I think that is a super important thing when you want to look after your brain and your intelligence. You know, for someone like me who doesn't have a lot, I need to make sure that I take care of what I have. You know, I mean, I have more than the current person in the White House. Is that a bad joke? Anyway, so jokes aside, trying to figure out how I can sharpen up a little bit more exercise. Maybe start boarding like at least one day in a week, maybe. I don't know. But I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this here and then tomorrow morning, snuggling in. It's going to be too warm to go out there. Mornings are rather chilly, and I'm happy to say that from time to time, just when I think it's going to be a really dreary day, the morning sunlight surprises me. And that's something that I would probably add as my extraordinary for the day is the sunlight in the mornings. I love it. I really love like when I wake up and my wife and my son really likes it to be really dark. I remember being in South Africa, in Cape Town, windows open, and you kind of wake up with the sun coming up, that fresh, crisp air. Man, I miss it. And I get a little taste of that when I crack open the first cup of coffee and I walk into our living area and I see the sun. Always entices me to go out and freeze my ass off on the balcony a little bit. And it's not actually that cold at the moment. I wish I could quote temperatures. I'm not one of those kind of people, even though I speak about weather all the time. Really, really love the sunshine and enjoying a cup of coffee, watching the sun come up, even if it's a little bit gray here in Poland. And it's, for me, a little bit more gray than usual. And now that I've spoken about the extraordinary, it is something that I'm a little bit worried about what's going on our side of the world. So I'm sitting in the European Union. I'm legally here, wink, as a South African. And one of the things that I was excited about, and that was something that was really encouraging and inspiring when I came to Poland the first time 4 years ago, was the ability to just work across the border, sometimes even into the UK and Switzerland, which sometimes a bit hard to get into with my little weird passport and travel documents. But really, like, the borders breaking down between all the other countries like Spain and Germany and, the European Union. And I'm a huge fan of the idea of the union because, before all its mistakes, because I know it's not perfect, it's also being run by human beings and a female at the moment, I must add. And that's a good thing, by the way. I'm mentioning that as a good thing. I actually don't know any of the policies or whatever, and I don't know much about the European Union. I really need to sharpen my ass up on that. But what I do know is that yesterday in the European Union, they tried to pass a bill that would help across the European Union. I think it's a few billion, 10 billion euros for our little situation, our shared situation. Because of this pandemic, everybody's hurting, economies are hurting, and I don't know if it's a stimulus or just a get out of jail free card. And of course, money needs to come from somewhere, and there's no presents going to float around here. We like handing out cash or trying to stimulate things has always got a kind of balance to it, right? Anyway, I'm getting carried away here. But so they tried to pass that bill yesterday. And guess who vetoed it? My home country, who I love dearly, and Hungary. So Poland and Hungary vetoed the bill. They stopped it in its tracks. And one of the main reasons for the veto is the fact that Hungary, their president is a bit of an authoritarian himself. And then, of course, we have a few problems here in Poland, especially around LGBTQ and plus and women's rights, and also the current government that has definitely strong right-wing authoritarian tendencies. And the leadership in those two, in our government, Poland, and Hungary, vetoed this bill and stopped it in its tracks because they fear the fact that the European Union turning around and saying, okay, cool, we're going to give money to everybody, but let's see if everybody deserves to get the money because they are aligned with the ideals, goals, and stipulations of what is meant to be the European Union. And in a way, I feel it's fair, but also unfair because there's a lot of people here in Poland that I feel deserves a helping hand. Damn it, man. There's a lot of people who needs a lot of help here. And this is why we are in the European Union. But then again, I also flip it around, and it makes me think about something my dad once told me, is that, I don't know, I was younger and I had an issue at school. Something wasn't really working for me. And, you know, we go through these stages, all of us. Sometimes we all screw up, right? And I remember, I can't even remember what the issue was. I just remember the lesson is that I was telling my dad that this person is doing that and that person is fighting with me about that and that person is fighting me about this. And he said to me, Vanner, like one thing you need to think about is that, you know, when you have a whole bunch of people around you pointing to you saying that you are a problem. And I think I was going through a lot of stress back then. It was one of my first jobs and I tended to be very grumpy because it was really a high stakes newspaper job and I got hammered there a lot and I got frustrated. And a lot of people didn't like working with me because of my grumpiness. And my dad actually made me realize that was the problem because he said, look around you and if there's a lot of people pointing out the same thing, perhaps you are the problem. And luckily through that, I went to see my boss. We had a sit down and a conversation. And of course, with my mind completely in a different space, kind of assuming, I mean, I'm not going to admit that I'm the problem, but figuring out that, hey, I might be the problem here. Come on, I'm also a human being, damn it. I need to figure my shit out, right? And I feel like, you know, the fact that Poland has vetoed this bill and we are in the company of Hungary, who doesn't have a great track record themselves, you know, you also get judged by your mates. So I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried where this is going to go and how this is going to play out. And once again, I need to apologize to you because I should be more educated about the European Union, what some of these bills mean. But by no means do I say the European Union is this honest angel. But the thing is, these things, this veto that happened, it's got a risk because, damn it, you know, like more people say, I don't want to play along anymore. This could destroy the European Union. And in my opinion, we all need to get together. We need to break down these borders, and I will stick to that. Borders suck, and we need to start looking after the planet, not countries and flags. Leave that up to the hooligans and the right-wingers hanging on to their flags. I want to have a human race where we look after each other. So, I don't know. That was getting carried away here again. So, that is how I feel. Let's help each other out. Let's pass bills and make sure that we align with the promises that we've made as countries, as human beings. And when people around you start saying or indicating that something is wrong and you start realizing that you might be the problem, that's the one thing you can change. The one thing that you can change is yourself. So I'll leave it there and think about what I'm going to do next because there's a few meetings coming up and I'm still busy. I'm still doing some work, arguably a little bit slower than usual. And I'm still waiting for my damn laptop. No word. I had to order parts. Something serious happened to it if they had to order parts. I mean, it's not a car. It's a laptop. Spare parts. What did I do to that poor machine? Moment of silence. And I think I'll leave it there. And thank you for listening to my little soapbox rant. And if you have any answers, or you can give me more information, or enlighten me, or maybe I'm wrong, don't hesitate to ping me, reach out. Just be gentle. Ciao.